Welcome back, everybody, to our Marvel Recap Reviews Rewind.
Hawk Talk. Welcome back to Hawk Talk,
That's
folks.
true. That was the name we decided upon, 10 years ago now?
10 years ago to this very night in this haunted mansion.
I like this haunted mansion. Not for recording. Like, aesthetically, it's quite pleasing.
It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, drafty, though.
Yeah, and if you ever want like a book, it's always under a melted candle. That's complicated.
That is true.
But anyway, enough about our haunted mansion that we've always recorded in. It's a very special run of Hawk Talk because we're going to talk about Moon Knight.
That's right.
It's a real month of Moon Knight, or as I call it,
6 weeks of Moon Knight?
Month Night. That's what I'm calling it.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
And again, it is 6 weeks because we are going to do 6 episodes.
Heck of a month.
That's right. So after every episode, we're going to come back here. Collins edits these together. We're just going to talk about, general plot, things that are going on, some speculation, some Easter eggs, all of those things.
Personal revelations, what's been going on in our life.
Exactly.
Which one of us is cutting out carbs this week?
Is it me or you?
It's not me.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
Well, the haunted castle, or whatever it is, it's stressful, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Anyways, leave a like if you could. So let's kick things off with, I guess, Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
Who, okay, here's a quick question for you.
Go on.
So Stephen Grant didn't know that he asked the woman at his work out on a date because it was clearly the Mark Spector personality.
Sure, yeah.
What accent did he use to ask her out? How'd that happen?
Great question. Maybe he faked a bad British accent.
Yeah, maybe
that's what
he did. Oh, do you think that's what...
He probably is, yeah.
What do you think of the British
Mark
accent?
Spector's some sort of secret operative. He's a mercenary. He knows how to fake a... Look, we said this off air. It's not as bad. It's not as jarring when you when you go in knowing that that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And it does settle in, but it also doesn't hurt that everybody else in the show sounds like a chimney sweep also. Like, I reckon on set they've been like... really amp it up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tell him you don't give a monkeys about everything. Because nobody in this show gives a monkeys about this bloke. He's a real downtrodden bloke.
It's got, early to mid...
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, he has a nice job at the museum. He lives in a Harry Potter apartment, much like a haunted mansion.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's also, it gave me, early 2000s, girl late for work rom-com vibes.
He's tripping over putting his boots on.
Yeah,
in the morning.
sure, he's also chained to a bed and there's there's a circle of sand around where he sleeps. But it does have that kind of I'm running late, I'm falling asleep, I'm getting a coffee, I'm tripping over and whatever. So do you think what's going on with him is he's in some kind of self-imposed deep cover? Is this a protective personality that's manifested itself?
Good question, James, because...
I guess we should explain the basics of Moon Knight before we get to that, I guess.
All right, yeah. Sure. So Moon Knight, originally Mark Spector, was he was a mercenary in Egypt.
Yeah.
And decided to change his evil ways. But it was a little too late because all his mates shot him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But he was resurrected by the Egyptian god Khonshu.
Yes.
To be a super cool, supernatural guy.
Also, maybe not.
Oh, yeah, also maybe Khonshu's an alien. Maybe it's all in his head. We don't know yet. A bunch of different versions, bunch of different sort of comic book storylines. So who knows what they're going to go with? Maybe this will all be revealed to be a movie or TV show being produced by Marvel within the context of the show.
Like that Black Mirror episode?
Yes.
Which one am I talking about?
Doesn't
matter.
The one where phones were bad. The one where too much phone was bad.
I didn't see that one.
Okay.
I love the idea, though, and we obviously got hints of this in the trailer, where he's constantly skipping ahead in time, and every time he wakes up, he's done a terrible thing that we don't see.
Yes.
We just see the aftermath of it. And
I hope we'll get to see some of it eventually.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That'd be nice. Do you think they could do... I mean, that being said, it would be so funny if they went 6 episodes, we never saw an action sequence. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
or they packed it all into the last episode.
Yeah.
It's just wall-to-wall brutality.
Yeah,
We're
that,
oh my God.
that comic where he runs up the stairs and whatever, kills all those dudes. Yeah, I think that, that waking up with the dislocated jaw, he fell out of that tower, right?
Seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Or jumped.
Yeah, that's it. So he's in
And landed on his head?
Yeah, face, head, body.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in
the Sound of Music universe.
Yeah,
that's where he is.
Yeah, the Swiss Alps, exactly.
No, the Sound of Music universe.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I one thing...
Sound of Music.
Sound
of Music. Go on.
One thing that really stuck out to me about this, as opposed to some of the other Marvel things we've seen, but also because of lockdown, is that we're seeing real London, real locations. It looks like they really went to the Swiss Alps, it seems, or some approximation of it, you know what I mean? It felt outdoors and real,
That's right.
Which I appreciate.
Like a real-life chocolate advertisement.
I mean, some of those cars going off the cliffs, not,
Yeah.
not the best CGI that I've ever seen, but I think, all in all, again, like it's Disney money and they've obviously made good use of it. But what did you think about the action that we saw, like the car chase, for example? You know?
Bit of fun, I thought.
Yeah.
There you have it.
You know what I did like?
Go on.
F. Murray Abraham is the voice of Khonshu.
Oh, that's who that is.
So I thought that was that was really fun. And just the idea that he clearly does not like this personality. You know what I mean? He's like, no, bring back the other guy.
Yeah.
And presumably him falling out of the window is the thing that like rattled his brain that woke him up, I'd imagine.
And of course, this gives us the opportunity to play, of course, Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. James F. Murray Abraham? You got to pick one.
Abraham, I guess.
Okay, cool. You'd Abraham him. That's terrific.
Wait, did Abraham murder his children? Was he that one?
Maybe.
Yeah, great. Good stuff. So Ethan Hawke's character is introduced as Arthur Harrow.
Yeah.
Now, in the comics, this is a minor villain. He's like a surgical doctor, not the kind of guru that he's seen to be here, which I want to talk about the influences that he used, who did like a bunch of Nazi-style experiments. Like literally, like he was like looking at the notes and being like, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to do some of this stuff. But he's not a major Moon Knight villain.
I see.
So there's speculation that he's a combination of a few characters or that, you know, is this character just kind of blown out in kind of a different way?
Yeah, you know? Well, I mean, I guess the good thing about a minor villain is if they haven't, especially if they haven't got a lot of page time, you can really turn it into whatever you want and people can't go, oh, but come on.
He only put glass in one of his leather slippers, actually.
Right at the opening, I'm like, these better not be Moon Knight's leather sandals. I cannot respect him if those are his sandals.
Yeah, so apparently the reason why that happened, that was Ethan Hawke's idea. Apparently they had a lot of freedom to kind of create their characters or, you know, the aspects of their personality. And he was like, yep, I want to have him listening to Bob Dylan's Every Grain of Sand. The other thing, while he's putting, you know, glass in his shoes. Yeah. And I think what's interesting about that is, for one, sand, Egypt, two, glass. A lot of people don't know this. Some people think glass is frozen air. That's not true.
Yes, go on.
It's sand, isn't it?
What?
Glass is sand.
I mean, they are different.
Yeah, but that's how you make glass, with sand. You think it's frozen air, but it's not.
No, I don't. What? This is bizarre. Where has this gone?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
All I'm saying is
he's
listening to a song about sand and he's technically putting sand in his little shoes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, well, speaking of listening, two things. Every superhero has to have a theme song.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very happy that Moon Knight's is an Engelbert Humperdinck song.
Sure.
That's great. And also, I love that one of the means that Stephen Grant uses to stay awake is to listen to a podcast, just because I like the idea that there's a whole bunch of like very specific podcasts in the Marvel universe are like, so you were irradiated with cosmic radiation.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah, I've never heard of a stay awake podcast, but it must be a thing, right?
Right, sure.
Yeah, because it's often the opposite. It's all ASMR. Go get the fuck to sleep.
Like, and sometimes you overdose on those and you can't get up in the morning.
Doesn't work anymore.
Need a wake up podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Or it goes the other way. But apparently, though, he modeled the character of Arthur Harrow, or this version, off the Dalai Lama, David Koresh, and Carl Jung. So the idea of this charismatic, like meditative, like leader who's making big waves, and people are loving this dude, even though he's melting faces for things they may or may not have done.
Yeah, some things they may have done up to this point in their life, or something that they might do in the future.
Yeah,
can he sense their actual future, or is he just? Well, how much of these powers is he in control of? Is he?
Because he seems like he's like, I don't know what you did, but you did. I don't know. Wish I could help you.
Right, but maybe part of him is just like, I like this old lady.
Yeah.
Dead.
Like, what's this old lady going to do in the 4 minutes she's got left of her life? She would have died anyway right after this.
She probably put like some like very expensive mushrooms through at the supermarket as like a brown onion or whatever.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, same. Yeah, if I'm honest. Oh no, James, I'm dying. The scales.
So apparently his powers are being channeled through the god Amit.
Yeah, right.
But again, like, is this just him? Is it really God related? Maybe, probably.
He a mutant?
Well, are there? Like, it seems like there's competing gods at the very least.
Is there another divine reason, or possibly devilish reason.
Mephisto, he's back. What's he doing? He's killing old women.
It's definitely not Mephisto.
No, but imagine if it was. But here's something that we might have a clue to, though it might be nothing. That scarab, that golden scarab beetle that he has.
Yes.
Did a little bit of research. I still don't know. So people come back and be like, actually, the scarab beetle was something else.
Now, did you do deep research into like real life Egyptology, or did you just like look on a Marvel wiki or something?
Which one do you think I did, mate?
The second one.
Yes, that's correct.
The second one.
So originally, these were actually these were darts that Moon Knight used, and they were created by a time traveling Hawkeye in the comics, which apparently a lot of his weapons were. I'm going through all these weapons and like. A lot of these are from Hawkeye for some reason.
A time-traveling Hawkeye.
I didn't look into it further than that.
Okay, sure.
But...
Wait, which way time-traveling?
Back.
From the future?
No, back, I think. Or maybe forward. It's not about... I mean, if he's going forward, they've got magic darts, presumably, or whatever, right?
Sure, yeah.
I can't remember. All I know is time traveling. That's the important thing.
That's terrific.
The other thing is there was a Moon Knight annual from 2019, annual number 1, where it's basically different multiverse versions of Moon Knight fighting Kang across time and space for 3 specific magical items. One's an anchor.
Okay, sure.
One's a scepter.
Oh.
And one's a scarab.
Oh.
And they're all related to time and dimensional travel.
Okay.
But the scarab is the one that he holds, like that he wants in particular, Moon Knight wants to keep, is because it creates rifts in time. Oh. Now, of course, we just saw Kang pop up recently.
That's true.
In Loki. But is this the show where they're going to go, there's a time-traveling magic gold beetle?
Here's the thing. Maybe.
I know, right?
I mean, because this phase is all about time and dimensions, this phase of Marvel. So, and I think, one of the complaints people have had about some previous Marvel Disney Plus TV shows is, well, it was pretty fun, but how does it tie into the larger Marvel universe? So maybe they're like, all right, let's do this. Let's do a time travel dimension Scarab situation.
But they also have been pretty clear, for the moment at least, that like this is a self-contained series. It's not going to have that many links to the wider MCU.
Yeah.
But and also, to be fair, in this first episode at least, they don't mention that they're not like, remember the big green guy and remember the incident and the big New York incident?
Sure, yeah.
There's none of that. There's literally none of it, which is true. Which is, fine. You don't have to keep mentioning that.
Remember the movie Black Widow? We all saw it.
That was I was going to say prequel. It was more of an in-between call.
I know the timeline's a bit complicated. You're right. I think most likely it's probably thus far it seems to be what it says on the tin. Arthur Harrow wants the Scarab. Maybe he wants some other little bits and pieces because he wants to
probably shoots a laser.
He wants to bring back his deity or his
and it shoots a laser.
And it shoots a laser. It's going to shoot a laser at the end. Oh my god!
Or a big bright light. And it's too much power. Or whatever.
Moon Knight's going to have some of his crescent things and he's going to deflect the laser.
Ooh, I would like the Phantom.
The Phantom with the skulls.
Skull ring to deflect the other
James.
thing.
We haven't done that in decades. Of course that's coming back. But I think, so whatever his deity is, whether it be a real god or a dimensional traveler or an extraterrestrial being, gonna bring it in. And he seems to think that that's going to bring in good things. He's going to stop wars and bring peace and what have you. But I reckon it probably won't.
Yeah, also his deity often in the comics sucks. Like just uses him for just whatever.
Khonshu we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like it's just petty gods just warring among themselves. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that plays out. Here's some fun little Easter eggs, Mason. There might be something. So you mentioned. Nobody mentioned this. I'm going to mention it right now.
Good for you for mentioning this.
You see, he finds the phone, right? The Mark Spector phone, presumably.
That Motorola Razr, baby. I had one of those.
Did you?
I did.
Is it hidden?
Yeah,
good.
It's got secrets on it.
Good, excellent. Anyway,
it's got some very low-res VGA photos on it.
So we've got Layla, who's from the comics, is a minor. No, there is a version from the comics, but it doesn't seem to be doing any of those things.
Okay.
So it seems to be like a new amalgamation of probably a few people that that are from the comics. Mm-hmm. So there's that name again and again. But apparently this version is going to be an archaeologist and a friend of Mark Spector. First things, second thing's pretty obvious.
But the other name, Duchamp.
That's right.
Is that Frenchie, baby?
That is Frenchie. So he is a skilled helicopter pilot and an above-average hand-to-hand combatant.
Terrific.
Just doing some ancient Egyptian research, basically.
That's terrific. You got his power levels out of 10 there?
I think he's like a 4 or something like that.
Yeah, probably be about a 4, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Except in being French. That's a 10 out of 10.
So they met doing mercenary stuff and they've remained mates. But it's also, it turns out, in more recent Moon Knight issues, Also, he's a double amputee as well, though that I'm not sure whether they're going to do any of that. Or if that guy's even going to show up. Like, really, we don't actually
Has he been
know.
cast? Do we have a cast?
That's a great question. I can look that up. But he's also in love with Mark Spector.
That's true.
So that's something that, that has happened in the comics.
That's true. And whether they're going to use that,
he has 100% been cast. So
All
there
right.
you go. Oh, that's fun. Really good.
Well, that helps. That helps in him showing up in the show.
He was in Daredevil. That's interesting.
That's
he's already been in a Marvel show.
But like current Daredevil. Okay,
yeah.
not 2000 and whatever's Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Exactly. And there was another version of the character or of the similar name who was also in Cloak and Dagger. What are we doing here? What's going on?
We're mentioning a show that nobody watched.
Yeah, there you go.
It was on Freeform TV or something.
I watched one. Also, apparently he has been cast. It's just mentioned that he exists in the universe, and that's all we know at this point. So there you go. So he'll probably show up.
Now, here's the thing. So this show ends with Mark Spector being pursued by some sort of Egyptian dog monster. What's going on there? Where'd that come from? Arthur Harrow, did he summon that? Is it in his... Does he have a little doghouse where it lives?
Pursued initially, and then he beats up that dog. But yeah, I thought that ending scene was terrific, and I really, really liked the mirror confrontation where he's talking to himself and it keeps cutting between them, and I thought it was a really good use of space and angles and mirrors, obviously.
Those are real mirrors.
It seems that way. Yeah, but the way they did that apparently was that this is a quote from Oscar Isaac, who says, "The first step was to hire my brother, Michael Hernandez, to come in and be the other me. That's the closest thing to me there is on Earth." So he came in and he would play either Steve or Mark, even do the accent and everything, both accents. It was really helpful to have someone that's not only a great actor, but also shares my DNA to play off.
That is classic stuff. That is classic Hollywood stuff.
That's like Linda Hamilton, Terminator 2.
Me too, exactly. There
also, the security guards, and one of them's a liquid metal man.
Yes.
Twins in real life.
The Ashmore brothers, they all different roles all the time, never been in the same thing.
No, that's not true. They were in Gremlins 2 together.
Were they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe. You know what else I'm interested in seeing?
What's that?
So we see the costume form over him. How much of that is real? You know?
You mean...
I think he is going to have a costume, like a physical costume.
Right.
But did that actually happen? Or does he imagine himself becoming Moon Knight?
Oh.
Like, does that... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we see, like, in the trailers, we see he's got the moon, the crescent cape and whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know, like, how does any of that work?
Oh.
Yeah.
I reckon magic.
Yeah, I think you might be right when you say magic. Also, just a quick thing to end on, I guess. There is a photo in the credits which looks like it could be his parents, like a Polaroid.
Or him.
Or him.
And a woman.
We don't know. That's right. Colin, zoom in on that.
Enhance.
Yep.
Enhance.
That's too enhanced.
Okay. Yeah, that's
now we all know, don't we?
Yeah, well.
Anyways, all in all, this is looking pretty good.
It was a good start. I mean, it did feel a little bit reminiscent of Venom in that he has a...
That's a terrible thing to say, Mason.
I know, but you didn't let me
the
finish.
Conversations.
But better, yeah.
No, that's actually an element of Venom I didn't mind, the dual personalities and the conversations and all that. So, yeah, to be fair. But listen, if you love Venom, then you must love the movie Morbius. We have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows.
Folks, it's Monthbius. We've got to talk about Morbius.
It certainly is. We've got two Marvel things happening at once. The thing you said about...
Monthbius.
And Moon Month.
Month Day.
Month Day, thank you.
Month Night.
Month Night. Yeah. So... we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet. It comes out every Monday. But also, if you head over to bigsandwich.co, it actually comes up there early on Sunday if you just want to see us absolutely rinse Morbius, presumably. I haven't seen it at time of recording.
James, I've heard good things. Just kidding. No one's heard good things.
But the other thing is, these actually go up there early, just the audio. So as soon as this gets recorded, it goes straight up there at bigsandwich.co, along with early videos, along with bonus podcasts. We do a comic book club. We've actually done a Moon Knight episode recently on some Moon Knight
comics.
Morbius
episode.
And a Morbius one also. We mentioned The Phantom. We've got a bunch of movie commentaries, including The Phantom for some reason. And boy, did
because of this thing with the
skulls and the
lasers.
Yeah. Also, if you have any theories, if you have any speculation, what's the gold beetle? What's going on? Which god is what? What's Ethan Hawke doing? Why has he got glass? Some people think glass is frozen air. It's not. You thought that. But
nobody's ever thought it's frozen air. This is madness.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that some people did think that. Anyways, if you've got any theories about how you think glass is made, I know how glass is made. You don't need to tell me, but you know.
We've all been to Science Works.
That's right.
We've seen the bit of glass in a box. It's runny. We've seen it.
We've seen it. Anyways, thanks to Collins for editing this, and thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next month, Beers. Next week, Beers.
Night. Month night.
Next month, Night Beers.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you.
Good.
You're welcome.